darkness, light, yin and yang, good and evil, fire and water. Things that are clearly opposite but somehow complete one another. Nature and society alike tell us that opposites can live, work, and love together in complete harmony. The fact that differences appear in two ideas or races doesn't mean they cannot coexist. Rather, it means that each idea has something beautiful and new to bring to the table. The same concept applies in interracial relationships. This touchy and sometimes taboo topic has haunted the hallowed halls of scholarly debates and even fueled the fire to heated conflicts between races. Today, we will address this problem head on. We will hear the reservations of parents, the stereotypes and pressures of society, and most of all, use history and statistical information as a springboard for how to deal with interracial relationships. So sit back and relax as we address this problem.
What types of experiences have you had with interracial relationships?
My experiences with interracial relationships are just like, whatever. I dated somebody of a different skin tone than myself in high school. One relationship was like 4 or 5 months. The other one was like 8.
So my sophomore year in high school, I dated a African-American man from Jamaica. He was super sweet, awesome. We lasted about, I think it was about 4 or 5 months.
All right. I dated a black guy for a year and 7 months from 11th to 12th grade and somewhat into college. And then I dated a Puerto Rican for a year and 2 months, and now I'm currently dating a Puerto Rican.
In high school, I dated a lot of white girls.
For how long?
Usually about a year at a time.
I dated an Indian girl for a little under a year in high school, and I think that ended, the first month of college.
I dated a black male in high school for like a month and a half, 2 months. It was pretty late in the year.
How did other people's opinions and perceptions affect your relationship?
Maybe the world at large would have looked at it differently, but I didn't ask anyone because I didn't care.
Question of whether it was right in people's minds. One time we went to the grocery store together because I wanted like just some random thing, and I was pushing the cart and he was walking along with me, and this guy like started glaring at us, and I didn't know what was going on. I kind of like touched my face, like I was like, what's wrong with me? And when we walked on, he was like, oh, don't worry, it's not you. And I was like, then what's going on? He's like, well, he's probably disappointed in you for dating me. And I felt really bad for him because he didn't deserve that. He was a sweetheart. There was nothing wrong with him.
One of the reasons my parents claimed that we shouldn't be together was because if we had gotten married, our kids would be picked on in school because they were mixed. And I kept telling them that no, they wouldn't. People don't care. But they kept using that argument, and then they kept saying that we shouldn't mix bloods.
Well, usually, if I like someone, I don't let everyone else's opinions get in the way of that. So their opinions didn't really matter to me, because if your friends are really your friends, they will accept who you date because you're you.
Her parents were the ones that were opposed to it. We actually never told them. The whole time we had to sneak out because she would be going to the movies with her friends or with her girlfriends.
I wanted to take him as my prom date, and my dad told me I couldn't take him as my prom date because of how I would be perceived. And when I asked him what he meant by that, he asked me if I really wanted to be like the girl down the street.
What is your personal opinion of interracial relationships?
Do it, because date whoever you want. If you don't want to do it, that needs to be a personal choice versus, oh, I don't want to date somebody because their skin tone is different than yours, because
For interracial relationships, I think everyone has a right to be in love with whoever they want to be in love with, and there's no limit on skin deep. Love is within. It's the heart, it's emotions, it's nothing to do with the superficial. So I don't understand anyone being against it.
I mean, you can date whoever you want to date. I mean, I don't think race really matters when it comes to finding love and happiness.
I think interracial relationships are normal and they're okay. If you are attracted to someone of a different race, then do you, boo-boo.
They're normal, they're fine, they're everyday.
Yeah, I think they're totally normal and socially acceptable, especially in like this day and age. It should be not perceived so weird like it was 10, 20, 30 years ago. I think it's totally normal.
Do you believe that two people of different races can be in love? Why or why not?
Literally, your skin color is just the amount of melanin in your skin. There's biologically nothing different. You still have the same brain. I mean, not the same brain, but it works the same.
I don't think my skin tone makes me love someone differently than their skin tone, and I shouldn't not love someone because we don't share the same skin tone, because even people in the same ethnicity don't have the same experiences.
Yes, I do believe two people of different races can be in love because there are 7 billion people on this earth. There is no logical reason to think that you have to date within your race to find true love.
What effect do you think cultural differences have on interracial relationships?
I think the cultural differences is beneficial when it comes to interracial relationships, because you get to understand that other person's culture, which creates a more aware environment, and you're more aware of the differences in the relationship, and it creates a stronger bond because of the respect between the two.
I think since both of us knew we had such major cultural differences, neither of us wanted to introduce us to our families. It was very much, we separated that out of our lives, and when we were in the relationship, we were with each other. We didn't think about anything else. We didn't think about our cultures. We focused on who we were as people.
I think cultural differences come when it comes to like finding similarities and differences, which are like basic things people bond about. So everybody comes from a different background, and those backgrounds are even more diverse in interracial relationships, so it makes it a little bit more difficult.
Cultural differences make it harder, obviously, because you don't have the same background and common understandings on some things. But sometimes that's the fun part, is working through that.
Did your opinion of interracial relationships change after experiencing one?
It got actually stronger because I was just like, date whoever you want regardless of race.
I thought they were simple, and it was just another relationship I was getting into, which relationships aren't exactly simple, but I didn't think it was going to be that dramatic, and I realized there is racism still, there is issues with the combining of just free love, and there will still be people that are unable to accept people for who they are.
Really, my opinion did change. It got better. I kind of agreed with them more because I just stopped caring about them because there wasn't anything to care about.
It didn't really change because in the beginning and the end I felt the same way. It doesn't really matter to me. Love who you want.
Coming in, I was maybe a little worried. I figured that my parents would be alright with it, and I knew that hers wouldn't be, but I didn't know if that would blow up in my face at all or not, and it didn't, so.
In 1970, only 2% of all relationships were interracial couples. In 2015, 7% of all relationships are interracial couples. There was once a time in America where those in an interracial relationship could not legally live in harmony. We now live in a society where interracial couples are prominent. I don't understand why we still struggle with the notion of love. We should celebrate it in any form that causes no harm and elevates another human being. We are the same, whatever color, race, or national origin we may be.
Will you let others' social biases affect your relationship?